Hiya. I was listening to Azriel Knight the other day, and he was talking about a Kodak camera called a Vigilant 620 and how wonderful the camera was. So I went and started looking, and I found this with the bag on eBay. I ended up paying $28.05 American for it, plus $11.95. So it ended up being totally 40 bucks. So now being that it's a Vigilant 620, it takes 620 film, but you can get 120 to fit in it. I'm not going to load any, but I'm going to show you what it takes to go in after we talk about this really cool camera. Anyway, so this is one of those what they call vest pocket cameras, and really I don't see it fitting in my pocket. Yeah, but anyway, I guess that's why the bag has straps. And the bag's set up so you can actually shoot the camera, shoot it while you have it in the case. But now to start with, here's the camera. Now, if you push this button here, this button right up here on top, this is the picture taking button. This is the bellows release button. So then that opens up, and there you go. Now I was listening to a video the other day, and the guy says, "Hey, that looks like a train. Kind of looks like a train coming at you." Well, it kind of does. But once you've got it out, once you got it open, you've got this little tab right here, so you can set it on a table, and it will stand up. Now you also have another one right here, another one right back here that you can pull down. So when you stand it this way, let's move that back just a little. So when you stand it this way, it'll keep it straight up as well. Now the way you sight this thing is this right here. I watched one other guy talking about a camera like this. I think it was a Junior. This is not the Junior. That they didn't have flash back then, so you'd shine a flashlight down through here, and the light would amplify out the front. Yeah, no. This is how you sight it in. Hi there. See? You also have this one here. And so if you're going to take a picture portrait, you sight it in this way, looking down this way. If you're going to do a landscape, then you rotate this up, and you can sight it in this way. Now, the way this lens works, for the most part, is you have to cock the lens first. And then you have this button here, and when I got it was a lot of this linkage here down inside of here was kind of bent up, and it still is. I had to almost bend this tab up here into an S curve to get it to work, and it might not, but let's see. Yep, there it goes. So you can also, once you cock it, you can also use this little one here to get it to shoot. Now on this one, it also has, I'm assuming this is a timer, but as you can see, the timer really doesn't work very well, and we're not going to worry about it. But anyway, so there's two ways to do it: the button on top or this lever right here. Now you also have, the way you focus it is you have this little pointer right here, you have this little T-bar right here, and then around the barrel it gives you distances. But this is unlike an SLR, unlike say my Canon, you can't really tell if it's in focus, so you got to kind of guesstimate. Okay, you know, let's go all the way here where it says infinite. Well, I guess that's going to be long ways away, and then as you screw it, it gets closer and closer and closer until you're at 3.5 feet. Now all these are feet because this camera was built between 1939 and 1949, so in America, so everything is in feet. But you know, roughly 3 feet, 3 feet's a yard. It's pretty close to a meter anyway. Then on the front, when you look at it, so now you've got your focus. Now you've also got up here, this ring right here, this will set your shutter speed. And you can go over here to the T, and if you cock it, when you cock it and you push down, either push on the button, what it will do is the T is like for timed. So then you can push the button and it locks the shutter open, and it also locks this halfway until you push it again. Or not. There you go. I guess it's a little old. After being about 80 years old, it has every right to be whatever it wants. Not that I'd be using that anyway. There you go. So here's your shutter speeds, and then the T is timed, B is bulb. So what B is supposed to do is, if you got it set on B, like there, you should see the, when you wind it and then trigger it, it should keep it open until you let go of it, until you let go of the shutter. And that's working the one on the lens, and this one, yeah. I think I might have to bend that little squiggly around a little bit, because it's not looking like it wants to work freely. Yeah. So we'll have to squirrel around with that too. Either that or we'll just not use this. We'll just not use this one. But anyway, also, so there's your shutter speeds. Also down here, you have your apertures. And this one goes from 4.5 all the way up to 32. Which is actually quite good on a camera like this. Usually in this day and age, it was like this one, where you had one. This one actually has two apertures. This, but you know, one shutter speed. This one you actually had, with this fancy lens, you actually had a multitude of shutter speeds and a multitude of shutter speeds and a multitude of apertures. So now to fold it up, let's see if we can get this to go down in. Oh, there it goes. Turn it the right way. So now once you got that closed up, and you want to do, if you've got this onto the side, you want to fold this up here. Now this right here, and I don't have a shutter, or not a shutter, but a flash attachment, but this you would attach to an external flash, because there's no hot shoe. You've got this that you would look through to like size up your subject, I guess. I don't know what this is. It doesn't seem to want to do much of anything. But anyway, or you can fold it up, and when you want to close it, there's these two little bars right here. You have to push that back on both sides, and then you can fold fold it up and snap it closed. Now, so there's your taking, and there it goes back in your pocket. Right, your little handle here. Now, when it comes time to loading this, like I say, it takes 620 because it's a Kodak, and Kodak needed to do their own little thing. They come out with 620, which was a respooled 120 film for the most part. And most 120s have all the numbers in line with, see, like this one, you have the button in the middle. This one is down here. This one is up here. But they all correspond to how many pictures you can take with this. With this one, on a roll of 120 film, I should get 12. And the center, the line down the center here is marked up for 12. This, being that the numbers will be lined up out here, there's our little red dot. This should be set up for 8 frames on the same 120 roll. So to open this, you've got this little slide right here. So you slide this over. Let's do it this way. You slide this over while holding the front of the camera, and then once you slide that over, you can grab hold of the grippy and slide it open. See, it says it's supposed to take 120 only, and you're not supposed to put, or 620, and you're not supposed to put 120 in it at all. Well, what you do need, and all four of the old 620 cameras come with this 620 spool. Now this, I don't actually have a 120 spool yet. But what the 120 spool is, I do have a roll of film though. So here's my, and we're not going to run this. We're not going to run Delta 400 in this. We'll probably go and get Delta 100 or the Triax 100, or not the Triax 100, but 100 T-Max or something like that. Because this old camera was designed for maybe 50 speed or 50 ISO, 50 ISO, or like 100 ISO. 400 would just be too sensitive. But here's your spool of 120. Ilford Delta 400. I like Ilford. The 100 T-Max is pretty good too, at least in the 35. I haven't actually finished a roll of 120 yet. But as you can see, the end is a little bigger. This end is a little bigger. So what you would do is, see this little lip here? You'd cut that off. And I've done that to this end already. And I figured while we're sitting here, I'd grab a pair of nail clippers. I actually bought these from Smith & Edwards for like 50 cents for this very thing. So what you want to do is kind of hook your hook in that little lip. And if you look, before we snap that, and if you look, the end that I have already cut off, it fits in there. This end that I haven't, that we're going to in a second, doesn't. I guess if I could really wanted to wedge it, it would go in. And I figure, I'm looking, and it looked like it should fit widthwise with no problem. Looks like it should fit widthwise with no problem. So, back to where we were. So you come in here with your nail clippers, and you just start nibbling around the edge of your 120 film. There are places that will, and I think B&H does it, I could be wrong, but they take old 620 spools and in a dark room, and you can do it in a dark room as well, and you unspool your 120 film and spool it onto the 620 spool. The 120 spool is, this flange is a little thicker. Yeah, get back in the flange is a little thicker, and it's bigger around. Plus, the spindle part is bigger on the 120. So there's a bunch of videos on how to respool. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to waste this film. But so now we've pretty much got all of the bring off. So we'll finish it here. Little trimming. Little trimming to make it so it doesn't, because it has to roll around. It has to roll around in here because you're going to put this spool over here in the winding end. And then you roll this in until it catches and goes down all the way, and it winds. So then you would do your film. You'd pull it out of here, and then pull it across here and tuck the end in here, and then roll it until it starts rolling. And this roll of film will have like a bar with arrows. So you want to unwind it until the bar is like here or here, wherever you want to. Well, between like here and here. But so now you've got your modified roll of 120. Like I said, we're not going to spool this because 400 would be kind of useless in this camera at the moment. I think a couple of my filters off of my Argus Argaflex will probably fit on the lens of this, because the lens is a 31.5 millimeter, and I think my Argus Argaflex is the same thing. Don't know yet. I'll probably find out tonight or tomorrow. But anyway, so now with it trimmed down, this should snap into the hole. Maybe not. I might be lying. Ooh, this might be a little too tight, and it looks like it's going to be. So what we'll probably have to do, I was thinking maybe I could get away with it, but no. So what I'll probably have to do, if I can get this back out, is go and sand this down quite a bit, because you can kind of see a little bit of a crown on it, and that one, a little crown. Sand this down a little bit. Looks like it's tight enough that you shouldn't get any shavings in there, and then it should snap. Then it should snap in, be almost as thin as the other one. Yeah, that ain't going in. That goes in there, but it doesn't roll. So yeah, this one will have to be slightly modified, but this will probably go in my Argus really nicely. The 120 without any modification went in the Argus really nice. But this one looks like it's going to take a little bit of work. Besides, like I said before, I want to run a roll of 100, and I don't have any at the moment. But that shouldn't take too long at all. So now once you've got the film in there, you've got this little red dot out right there. Now what you do is when you snap it back together, snap. Now you open your little window, and the reason why this has got a cover is because the film, even though it's got a paper back, even though this has a paper back on the roll of film, the film light can damage, not really damage, but it will show through and give you kind of a bright spot. If you're running color in it, it would actually give you a red spot. But, so what you do, once you've got the film started, then you look through your little viewfinder until the number roll, until you start having arrows come by, and then the number will pop up. Now what you have to do is stop on that number, because if you don't, you've wasted that frame. You know, there's no rolling back. There's no back button over here. And I kind of did that. I don't know if we can actually see it. I kind of did that on this. You can see where the 1 is almost a little too far. But I'll just keep rolling that and put the 2 there and the 3 there and the 4 and blah, blah, blah. So I just thought I'd show off my spiffy little camera, and I can't wait for a nice sunny day, and I'll have to see if I can grab a roll of film either tonight or tomorrow. Now the filter I was talking about is this. This should be 31 and a half millimeters. Should fit this. Should still be able to rotate your focus, but you should be able to put a filter, like a red filter or a yellow filter or something like that on there. That way you could actually run the 400 speed. You know, you do your Sunny 16 rule with 400. Well, this only goes up to 200. So, you know, also the nice thing is this also goes up to 32 instead of just like 16. It goes up to 32. So you could probably run 400 in this, but I'm not going to. I'm going to get 100. It's all the same price. Just as easy to get. But anyway, so thank you, Azriel. I'm really happy with this. Oh, one other cool thing. This right here, if you unscrew this, then you could mount this on a tripod. So you have a tripod, you can tripod mount there, plus you also have a tripod mount there. And when you go to put it back in its bag, this here screws into the tripod mount there and locks it into the bag. That way it won't fall out. I guess if you learn which direction. I was a tech for 20 years. You'd think I'd know righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. But anyway, oh, and then once you've got that in there, if you're going to run it in the bag, you've got this other little peephole back here, and you can see where I did not put the little cover back down. But what you would do is leave that little cover up, and you could see what frame you're on through the bag, and then when you figured that out, you close that and keep the light out. Now when you go to wind and open this door or open the door on the back of the camera, you want to kind of do this in what people keep saying, subdued light. Park it under a tree or under an awning somewhere, keep the direct sunlight out of it. But it's kind of cool. Then when you're done, snap it, throw it around your shoulder. And I will be getting some 100, modifying it with my 50-cent nail clippers, and looks like I'll have to sand this. I could re-spool, but probably sanding the ends of the film would be much easier. This one I definitely have to do it because there is no room in here. And this little Kodak Brownie is from 33 to 41. 33 to 41, I think. But I'll most likely definitely have to do the sanding here because it just ain't gonna fit in there. There's no give. But anyway, so go find you an old camera. Film is still available. Go find you an old camera. Film is still very available. Those little spools, the 620 spools, are available as well. They're getting to be kind of a healthy price, but they're still available. So grab you some film, grab you an old camera. Like I said, this one was 28. The little box Brownie, I paid $6. This one I paid $22. I haven't put that video up yet, but this one I paid $22. And get out there and shoot film. Shoot it. Have a great day.